Welcome. Thank you so very much to UC for hosting us in this beautiful space. We'll actually have a couple of those guys come down there in a meeting until 4, so they're going to come visit us here in a little bit. Dr. Kelly Cohen and several of his team members are also in the room as well, and a couple of them will speak, so I can't wait. And we're very grateful for that. And then Seven Hills Technology, let's give a round of applause for them because they provided the fantastic food, the snacks that we have. Thank you, Brad from Seven Hills Technology. He's walking around here somewhere. There he is. Wave at Brad. Go say hi to Brad. He's amazing. Can't do this without sponsors. And so we're very excited to have you today and appreciate you taking time out of your really busy schedule to carve out time to learn about what we're doing and what the community is building. So I'm Kendra Ramirez. I've actually owned a digital marketing agency for the last 18 years. I'm a technology nerd. I love geeking out about stuff. So the minute anything's out, I'm dabbling with it, trying to figure out how does it apply to business. I like taking things that are really complex and making them simple. I've gotten really good at that. And so my team and I, we have been building bots since 2018, and then the last 2 years doing AI inside of our business with copywriting and images. And I was like, hey, let's just share all this stuff that we're learning. And then I started meeting amazing people like Mike and Don and several people. Lindsay, where are you? I know you're in here. So there she is. So many incredible people building incredible AI things. And I was like, hey, I'm having all these one-off conversations. How do I get everybody in the room so you guys could all meet each other? So that's really where it came down to. And my awesome co-host, Helen Todd, is with us.
Yes, give our co-host Kendra. This was her idea that she manifested. And one of the reasons for the AI meetup is really to get everyone in the AI community here in Cincinnati together at one of the most future forward buildings in the city. And you'll hear more about UC and the research that they're doing here in the Digital Futures building. So I'm your other co-host. My name is Helen Todd. I'm the founder and podcast host of Creativity Squared, which is a free weekly newsletter, YouTube channel, and podcast that explores how creatives are collaborating with artificial intelligence. I'm also the first resident of Cincinnati to digitally clone myself, and I'm going to start cloning people very soon. Our first trial run in Cincinnati will be Monday. So if you're interested in getting digitally cloned, definitely let me know. A few housekeeping things. Up here on our board, we're going to switch these slides out a little bit. The first square is our next meeting, which will be here Tuesday, December 12th, 3 to 5, same drill again. That QR code will bring you straight to the Eventbrite page, so you can sign up if you haven't signed up already. The middle one is to my website if you want to sign up for my newsletter and for my podcast, but also if you're interested in applying to be digitally cloned, that QR code will bring you to the clone page. And then Kendra's website is here, and that QR code goes to her website. And she has a fantastic newsletter with all of the Cincinnati AI events and all the latest news on everything AI. So our 2 newsletters will cover a lot of AI stuff. And this upcoming podcast, my episodes and newsletter goes out every Thursday. And this coming Thursdays is with one of our own CincyAI Meetup attendees with Ben Nash, who spoke last time, who's an AI artist. So we'll share that in the group so you can hear about all the amazing AI art that he's doing and locally here in Cincinnati as well. So we'll bring these back up on the screen a little bit. For the flow today, we have our QuickBytes rounds, and we have the list this time. We're also recording, so we'll have this videotaped, and we'll also have this audio recorded with notes and everyone's names, because we got feedback, and we love your feedback of there were so many amazing speakers in the QuickBytes, but we didn't get everyone's names and what they did. So we've got that, and we also have a live survey at the end. While we have your attention with your phones to find our digital hub if we want it as a LinkedIn group or a Facebook group or something else. So we're going to start with the QuickBytes rounds. Then we'll do Q&A that's open floor where everyone starts interacting with each other. Our live survey. We didn't do this last time, but we're going to do it this time. We're going to get a group photo. And then, of course, all the amazing networking and collaborating. And even from last times meeting, there's already been a lot of collaborations and people meeting outside of this for work and other projects, which is really exciting and one of the reasons why we're here today too. And then what else? For other, restrooms. That's if you. This is like a circle. If you go around, and then there's a restroom somewhere back there. I think I covered. Yes.
I feel like the airline.
Yeah. So I think I covered everything. So are you all ready for our quick bites? Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so here is the list of quick bites. And we're just going to go in order. Some people may not be here, and that's okay. And I'm probably going to butcher this name. Srinivas Tanetti? Did I say that right? What? Yeah, the check-in is like self-check-in. Yes, so I know Kevin Mackey is here, so we'll have Kevin come to the stage. And for all of our quick bite speakers, we have 2 mics. We have one with the lav for the video. Have that point towards you, and then that's all.
Thanks, Helen. Hey, everybody. I'm Kevin Mackey, founder and CEO of 1,000 Zebras. And I'm going to start off actually by talking about something that happened about 10 years ago, a little bit more than that. And it's the 3D printing space. Is anyone, especially because we're in digital futures, just familiar with 3D printing and that industry and how everything had gotten started? Excellent. Well, let's talk about some parallels. So 3D printing, there's a bunch of marketplaces, Shapeways, Materialize. You may have heard of some of these. But what they did that was novel is that they were able to bring together buyers, sellers, designers, all in one location. Now, why that's difficult in the 3D printing market is that there's all kinds of different tools, right? There's all kinds of different printers. Some are going to be metal, some are going to be plastic, and they're expensive, right? So most of the time, you're not going to have a full shop where you could say you can get your plastics here, you can get your direct laser, mental sintering, tough to say. Hard to get all of those in one location. So that's where the marketplace space in that realm of life got started. Now I'm going to make a parallel to myself and my business. So 1,000 Zebras, the company that I started earlier this year, it is a business engine that is AI enabled for modern teams. Okay, what does that mean? Let's unpack that for a moment. A business engine is something that we all need now in the age of AI. It's not just I need ChatGPT and related tools. I need the people who know how to do that. I need the people who already have those large language models. And so we want to make it very, very easy for you all as a business owner to say, you know what? I think I need a new ChatGPT tool, or I need to develop my own. Where do I go for that? Who am I going to get to do that? What is the right group? What is the right price? So that's what we're building. If you have any interest in either being a builder, a provider, if you have a product with AI, we'd love to index you, put you on our marketplace, and really be part of our business engine. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kevin. And Jared Goldman. We have a Jared Goldman here. Okay, coming on down. And also, we're going to get you the photos in our email recap a day or two later. We saw so many great LinkedIn feedback last time, which helps get the word out. And we have so many new faces, which is really awesome. So be on the lookout for photos. Okay, Jared.
All right, which one? This one goes out?
This towards you.
There you go.
Perfecto. All right, my name is Jared Goldman. I am nowhere near as good of a speaker as Kevin is, so brace yourself, guys. Yeah, so I want you to imagine something. Imagine you're on the wrong side of 30. Imagine you're on the wrong side of 30, you're an intelligent person, and you made a mistake in your life. Now imagine you're on the wrong side of 30, you're an intelligent person, you made a mistake in your life, and you don't think you'd be a good boss for yourself because you were never a good employee for anyone else. What you're left with is what a lot of people are stuck with, this feeling of professional dissatisfaction that you have to kind of take the opportunities that are given to you because you never looked at yourself as one of those crazy people that could be a builder. I have been building for the past 4.5 years based on my own experiences, dropping out of school, making that, like I made that mistake, no one did that for me, but I didn't think it would define my opportunities going forward. And kind of the space that I play in where I'm most successful in my life is in video games. And nobody cares about that at all. No one cares how many kills you got in Warzone last night. It's not anything you can monetize for the most part. And so I started looking at what are the levers of change in somebody's life? How do we help gamers help themselves find agency? And so we've identified, basically a mental health platform for gamers. And I've identified 3 different ways in which you feel better about yourself and feel like you're in control of your own destiny. Part of it's coming from money. Part of that comes from future opportunities. Do you think tomorrow can be better than today is? Because a lot of times we're in a hole we can't see out of, but it's temporary. And the last part is a self-esteem component, how I feel about myself. And so what we're doing is we're taking something that's been an escape for a lot of people, and we're leveraging it into the tools of change. We're giving opportunities to gamers to help them help themselves. 9 different ways you can make money in video games. Only one of them is playing somebody else. So we're coming up with these very unique ways of basically making a choose your own adventure for gamers. Any number of these ways you can make money, plus we're teaching you how to save money, plus we're teaching you the tools of leveraging money and financial instruments, a lot of stuff that I wish someone would have taught me. And what it becomes is this very comprehensive package that gives you the tools. I'm not doing anything for you. I'm just giving you the framework to be able to dig yourself out and find your own path. My name's Jared Goldman. I'm the founder and CEO of Nines. It stands for the 99% of us that can't make money doing what we love. We are the Nines. Now is the time. This is the thing, and I'm the guy. Come talk to me if this resonated.
Thank you, Virginia Rhodes. Okay. Oh, there she is. Perfect. And Tom, you're welcome to come right afterwards, too. There you go.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Hi, it's Ginger. It's just Virginia unofficial stuff. I am here as somebody who is involved in 2 things on the, I would call the right side of 30. Who's in the right side of 30? Okay, with me. One is education. Public education is my background, but there are lots of policy issues and things going on right now and things happening regarding AI. And mostly 80% of what's going on about AI in education is fear, just fear, general fear of all kinds of things that can go wrong. But my message to that community is that if we focus on how to catch kids cheating on their essay, you have reason to fear. If we really look deeply into what it can do for us, then there should be no fear and we should move forward. But there's going to have to be a lot of people such as you in this room who help get that message out to educators and ways to connect whatever you're doing with people in schools so that they are not left out of that loop, because it's unlikely that the people most interested in this are also in school becoming principals. That's unlikely. There needs to be crossover. The other arena I work in is in the legal field. I'm not an attorney. I'm an expert witness, and I testify in school-related court cases. And so, but I'm exposed to the legal world. And so I've toyed with what happens when you write a report using AI. What do you get? And a lot of what I get is what people, the most common things that people think of when the topic is arising, whatever the topic I'm working on is. What I don't get is creative return yet. That may be because I'm new to it, or it may be because some of it isn't there yet. Just wanted to share my thoughts with you about these 2 things and see what you think. If you are in either of those fields, I'm interested in talking with you. Or if you're not, but you want to talk anyway, come see me.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay? Yes, my name is Tom Jones. I don't sing. But people sing to me every day because of that. That makes it work real well for me. I'm here to tell you, when it comes to AI, it's the whole generative thing. I'm a person that helps organizations, companies find their brand message, work through the customer journey, figure out what they want to say, how they want to make it work. I listen to my clients, and what I hear becomes their brand. I'm going to tell you today, check your work. If you're working with generative AI, you can come up with a zillion kinds of reports with chat, with Bard, with a variety of tools. Check your work. Here's one. Planet Word in Washington, D.C. It's a museum towards the formulation of our language. A wonderful place. They did a study on Isaac Asimov, trying to determine his favorite flavor. And they went through all of his work, through his correspondence, through his writings, and determined his favorite flavor is spearmint, because that's what he writes to. That's what he works with. That's how he thinks. No, his favorite flavor is cinnamon. And I don't know exactly what it takes to deprioritize the truth when it comes to so many things that could not be true. I was listening to the story last week on Freakonomics, and they're talking about the history of the hot dog. If you're vegan, I'm sorry, we're going to talk about meat for a few minutes. The history of the hot dog, and they're talking about the history of the hot dog going back to 1200. And there's no way the hot dog was invented in 1200. It's more of an 1800s kind of thing. And if you talk to folks, at Coney Island, they think 1918. There's so much information out there that we're trying to build up when it comes to generative AI. We don't know the accuracy of so many things. So check your work. And you make sure that the resources that you go to check your work are also reliable. You don't want someone that's not reliable backing up your story. Kendra and I were just talking about this last Thursday. We had lunch, and we were talking about the fact that you really have to make sure that the person you're talking with is reliable and tells the truth. Is that correct? No, that's a complete lie. I just told a complete lie. Did it easily. Okay, we haven't talked for like 4 years. That's the honest truth. Okay, so the fact that, am I a person you can count on? Not anymore, because I just told you a lie, and it's recorded. We're good with this. It's just a matter of check your work, because things come up. And the other thing I want to do is I want to talk about, this is a shameless plug. I'm vice president of the American Marketing Association here in Cincinnati. The Cincinnati chapter has just been voted by all of the other 70 chapters across the planet as the #1 chapter in the world. #1 United States. AMA Cincinnati, #1. I want to talk to you about customer experience for a bit. Customer experience, we're having a conference in April. Customer experience conference we call Ignite. We want to do a layer of AI on top of that. How is AI working through customer journey, or through personalization, or visual realization, or recommendation engines? AI is changing everything we do in marketing, everything we do in business, everything we do in customer experience. I would love to get your input, what you think this conference should be. April 19th, it's at the Underground Freedom Center for the AMA. That's it. Check your work. Tom Jones, thank you. Who's next?
And Mike Lewis.
Hey everybody, Mike Lewis here with Cincy Tier 1. I started a small AI business on accident about a year ago. So we specialized in processing medical records and sensitive data in a secure environment, and a bunch of wizardry in our bag of tricks, what we would do with the numbers. And so, but now that Tier 1's brought me on, we just have a lot more variation in the types of accounts that I'm asked to look at and try to find solutions for. And so when you said, give us an update, I would say between when, for those of you who were here a month ago, between then when you hear me talk and now, I think the biggest thing I've learned with this is if you're kind of like me and you're hitting a variety of problems with this technology, the thing that's hit me the hardest in the past months is realize I need to fall in love with every problem I'm working on. And that's hit me really hard, because just this week, we had a use case come up. It's funny, education, someone in the back talked about education. There was another education thing over here. We have 5 accounts right now where they're essentially saying we need you to help us use these tools to get people to know things, learn, right? And in my mind, that's oh, yeah, we're just kind of building a tutor, and then you find out there's this like entire universe of theory and different approaches and methodologies to like teaching, and so like you really have to fall in love with a problem like that to get to where you're deep enough to understand what you're building and how it's working under the hood, and what methodologies are we honing in on, and so I'd say if you're derping around with these tools and it's kind of like, oh, I can point this at that, I'd say just be careful before you think you're going to build something quick, and I'd say do your best to fall in love with the problem. Beyond that, I would just want to acknowledge like the earth shifting beneath our feet this past month, with OpenAI, like releasing like this amazing suite of really wild tools. And it's honestly like I had a day of like an existential crisis for a day, because like our whole brand was built on, we know how to do the really hard things with these tools that it's like you're never going to figure out. And it was like, oh, that's not true anymore, because you can do like all of it with toggle switches now. But I think that's really cool, actually. It took me a day to adjust to like, okay, just because. But, hey, last time I stood up here and said, don't be scared to code. I stand by that. Like, I still stand by that. But there's less that you need to know how to code today than last month. That's probably going to continue to be true. I think there is value to staying out ahead of it, though, and really stretching yourself. So I still want to say, don't be scared to code. These things will teach you. But anyway, yeah, that's my update since last month.
I appreciate what's changed in the world in AI in a month, because it changes. And just a show of hands, who has created one of the custom GPTs? Yeah, we got a good handful or dozen or so. Very cool. Okay, Joshua Jaron is next, if we've got Joshua Jaron in the room. No. Okay, going once, going twice. We're down to Christina Casaneri. We need like the Jeopardy music as you're walking down. Here you go.
All right. Okay, this is like new for me. I'm Christina Casanari. I work at a place called Best Upon Request. So how many of you would like to get an oil change while you're working? Yes, yes. How many would like to drop off their dry cleaning and never have to think about it because it's clean and it's paid for by you? Yes, okay. So all of you, but maybe none of you get to, but we are a concierge agency. We have concierges all throughout the country that that are either an employee benefit or a patient benefit in different healthcare systems. So we're really good at the people part, and we're learning the AI part. So Kendra came to our corporate team and told us all the things, and I took all of them. And right now, our problem is adoption. It's the how do we give AI to everyone, but not lose that customer service. So that's what we're working on. If anyone has thoughts, would love to chat. And or if you want a concierge, I can connect you. So.
Thank you. Amy Taylor, I'm assuming. Excellent. There you go.
I wasn't expecting this big of a room. So, hi everyone. I'm Amy Taylor. I work for Level Up Automation. We create smart homes and intelligent buildings, and I'm sure you guys are all way more techie than I am. I just like people. So I'm going to use my phone today just so I don't mess this up. But a couple of new products that we are working with at our company is, AI in the living space. So Josh AI, I don't know if anybody has heard of that new product or newer product, but it's an award-winning smart home control platform, and it's changing how we live in environments through AI, machine learning, and intuitive design. It's a cutting edge of technology, and it works with your family. It grows with your family or your living space, and it's different from all the other kind of home control products. Another one, and I wasn't allowed to bring this for show and tell. I'm kind of bummed. But we work with another product called LEQ, and this is targeted towards adults 65 and older, mostly if they're like living alone. But it's an AI companion. So she can tell you the best dad joke. She can do crossword puzzles with you. She can tell you sports trivia, remind you of your medicines, your daily exercises. And that's just another little sidekick to help you live with technology and work, live a little smarter. So Amy with Level Up Automation, and thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Do we have Greg Gosher in here? No. Going once, going twice. And actually, show of hands, who has seen the movie Frank and Robot, or Robot and Frank? Has anyone seen that one? I really recommend it. It's a good film about an elderly person and a robot and a positive interaction. So that's a fun one. Nicole Diehouse. We have Nicole here. Going once, going twice. Okay, Jonathan Martis. I don't know if I saw John today. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna let you say your name. Tarjwan.
You got it. Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm here to talk about the role of AI in helping us listen to each other. So it's a little bit different than most of the use cases out there. But we as a society, I think more and more things are getting automated. We are losing human touch in how we get, how we understand those who we serve, like our customers. It could be the people we are writing policies for, right? So this is an AI-based automation tool to solve that problem, right? So actually, like it's a AI-based tool that can do interviews on your behalf. And that way you can talk not just to the 20 people that you have time to talk to, or 10 people, or 0 people for most cases, but it would be that you can design a study and then the AI can go talk to hundreds of thousands of people on your behalf, right, whoever is willing to talk to you. And it's also an analysis tool on the other side because you end up with lots and lots of words to read, right? So it kind of makes the exploration aspect of that easier. But what I'm interested in hearing from people is what everyone's thoughts are on the role of AI in helping us understand each other, right? So the qualitative aspect of it, where there is some deep insights on open-ended sort of conversations, right? Right now, it is being done by qualitative researchers that go sit down with the data, sort of go highlight everything that is interesting, and then get together with other researchers and then understand that, right? What we are really passionate about is trying to see how AI fits into this aspect of very human process of understanding other humans, but more as a collaborator rather than a complete automator, right? So we're working on that. There's a lot of like little pilots we're doing. Happy to do pilots as well, and happy to hear everyone's thoughts. So thank you.
Thank you. Annie Burke. I don't see people getting up. Kevin Dugan. Excellent. And I will say we went from 100 registrants to 120 this time. So it's good to see our community growing. There you go.
Thank you. So Kevin Dugan, I am Gen X with Gen Z skill set. I have Gen X work ethic. Nice mix. I don't know why we're all so focused on age right now, but I will say that, I mean, if you think about this, you know, I think Kevin earlier mentioned the parallel between 3D printing and what's happening. I've noticed a similar evolution with social media and AI. You know, right now we're in what I would call sort of the big bang, and everything's messy, and, you know, you're seeing a lot of different things happen very quickly. You know, Ginger, I remember you talking about education. I remember when people were talking to us and asking us, what about, you know, social media in schools? Can we just make schools sort of an island? And we told them, you can try, but it's not going to work. I mean, and it didn't, you know? So, I mean, I think there's a lot of parallels there if that's helpful. And, you know, I think that, well, okay, so I work for Brightview. We're an outpatient addiction treatment program. We've got about 100 locations in 7 states. One of the ways we're currently using AI is our counselors have it for note-taking so that they can be more present. Note-taking is critical, but so is being present and establishing a relationship with our patients. So this allows them to do both. You know, personally, we've been using Otter AI on my team. The one reason I mention that, though, is it's kind of an interesting, snarky thing about it is you can see percentage-wise who talked what percentage of the meeting. So you have proof, mathematical proof, if somebody's dominating the meeting. Like I said, it was snarky. I've been using ChatGPT for brainstorming. I'm currently in the process of working with CincyAI, CIPIO AI, for some influencer marketing. And with influencer marketing, a lot like media relations, not enough time is spent on that initial list, defining who you want to work with, who you want to pitch a story to. You can use keywords and have very bad results. So you can spend a lot of time on that list and learn more about those people and have better relationships with them. So Scipio AI essentially helps to cut that time out without putting you in front of somebody that doesn't fit with your brand. They want to talk about what you want to talk about. So we'll be seeing what happens there. But ultimately, it's for consumer generated media. So they'll be creating videos for us. I also, just observationally from what everybody's been talking about, I think the evolution of AI being where it is right now and the alignment with mental health being a focus now, I really like that. I mean, it sounds like we're going to find some interesting things. Somebody earlier just talked about how that could help people that are living alone. I think that that's just a really interesting, untapped part of this. But speaking of age one more time and ending on it, age has nothing to do with where you're at right now with AI. I think we're in that mode because when social media came along, it was like everybody talked about digital natives, but that's not the case anymore. I think everybody is at the same playing level, and I see people in the room like me that are on a side of 30 you bring different things to the picture, right? I think the big thing is just to start getting involved in it, starting to use it. That's why everybody's here. So I think this is even a perfect example of just the diversity in this room. I had to help kind of talk to my team who were younger than me about it. So I have 3 Swifties that I work with. So I worked on a prompt that basically said, hey, we're into addiction treatment. So let's, have a Taylor Swift song in that style that, talks about somebody having this struggle and, this progress and maybe a fault, they misstep and then come back and ultimately, take control back of their life and have a great life. And, I'm not going to make any money trying to sell that to Taylor, but even my Swifties agreed that they saw the parallels between her style and how this song was written. So that's a perfect example. So I think, at the end of the day, it's being used in a lot of new and different ways. Again, we're in the Big Bang where it's messy. I mean, I remember in the Big Bang in social media, there were apps for certain things that are now just part of your phone, like things that your phone can do that used to be apps you had to have. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of that, where some of the stuff just gets folded into things we already have and use every day. It's just a matter of time. So it's an exciting time. So thank you. Somebody called me grandpa when I got here, by the way. I'm just saying.
Matt Spinelli. Okay, excellent. There you go.
Hello, my name is Matt Spinelli. I'm the founder of polymentalhealth.com. And I also work full-time as a software engineer for an AI company in the steel making industry. So as such, my startup or small business at this point right now is something that I'm building slowly on my own. I started it back around 2020 during the pandemic. And the reason is that I think everybody at some point in their life struggles with mental health. We all face anxiety, have an anxiety disorder. And I totally forgot that I signed up to present today. So yeah, that creates a little bit of butterflies in my stomach, but I'm used to it by now. So what I'm doing is building tools to help us understand our mental health better. So if we deal with anxiety, if we deal with depression, whether it's clinical depression, whether it's subclinical, just common everyday usage of the term, whether it's something more serious like ADHD, bipolar, or OCD, or any other diagnostic mental health disorder, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to your therapist or your mental health provider and be able to paint them a picture of what you've been dealing with and visualize your struggles with your mental health and the challenges you faced, where you've been, and potentially where you're going. So what I'm working on is building tools that help us visualize that story in a way that's easy to communicate and show to other people and to track and monitor over time. And potentially forecast where things might be going. Like maybe if you're dealing with some sort of cyclical problem like bipolar or even major depression, you might be able to predict when you might expect there to be some stormy times ahead. And that might inform on what you might want to do. What types of interventions might be appropriate. Maybe you want to spend more time with friends and family. Maybe you want to back off and work a little bit, commit a little bit less. And with AI, a lot of the transformer-based generative models, they don't do too well with time series data. And that's the kind of data that I specialize in. And time series has a long history in econometrics and statistical learning. There is advances, though, that's happening with applying these tools to using the AI tools to work in this space. So I'm very much diving deep into this area, and if anybody has experience with time series analysis and has been playing with that with regards to generative AI and other advances, I'd be happy to talk with you. And in general, happy to talk to anybody that would be interested in the tools that I'm trying to build with poly mental health. Thank you.
Show of hands. Raise your hand if you can help with what he's talking about with the time series.
Okay, great.
And Matt,
Raise your hand if you
raise
can
your hand
help
high.
or you're in
So
the
back of room,
mental health.
front wall.
And I think Eric's back there too with his hand raised.
I just want to make sure you get to be able to.
Excellent. And then Jonathan Rickman. It's popping up. Chris Brock. Yeah. And then this is open for those who did not register. I know Rob Richardson, I saw him somewhere.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, come on down. While he's talking, one of the guests on my podcast was Walter Rozoa, and they're using AI for mental health too, in the sense of turning music into medicine, because there's one Mozart piece that's scientifically proven to reduce seizures. So they're using AI two ways: to monitor the brain waves to see what's happening while they're listening to that piece of music. And then on the second side, to actually try to deconstruct Mozart's piece to see what happened. So there's some really interesting things attacking these problems in a lot of different ways. So that was one thing to fill the space while Rob is up here. Here you go.
Thank you so much. So I feel like I have to say something a little disruptive. It's in my nature. So, artificial intelligence is neither artificial nor intelligent, right? And what do I mean by that? I mean that it's a wonderful tool. We all need to embrace it. But another speaker said it might have been Tom. I can't remember who said it. But I think a variety of people have touched on this. It's about augmented intelligence. That's how we should be thinking about this. It is a way to enhance, not replace the human experience. And it's not there in terms of its capability now. It will be more in terms of being more accurate, but I don't think that's what humans want. So I look at technology always as an extension of ourselves, not as a replacement of ourselves. And so I think that needs to be how we view this. So I have two different organizations. So one, I'm the curator and founder of MidwestCon, and many of the partners were in this room for our second annual MidwestCon. We're going to have a third in September of 2024. The goal there is to really showcase to the world that we're the center of innovation, not just in the Midwest, but many places across the world. I think we underinvest in ourselves and really don't tell our stories enough. So our goal with MidwestCon was to really take all the great things that are happening from here at the University of Cincinnati to AMA being the best chapter in the country. Like, I think we don't necessarily do the best job of telling our story and all the things we have. So our goal is to do that, to help build that community globally, to help make sure we get more investments, more funding, more founders here. We focus on three areas within MidwestCon. The first is what I like to call policy innovation. Going back to AI, AI is another, to me, evolution of just how we're using data. It's just really a data play, right? It's really what this is. It's also aligned with blockchain, which you don't hear a lot of people talk about that, but it is, and it's very important. Blockchain's another layer of actually data play because you're talking about how the data can be secured, how it can be verified. And as we look more and more to the future, it's going to be about a cross section of all these things. And we're going to need policies and regulations, not driven out of fear, but certainly driven out of common sense and common good. So one of the things we focus on with policy innovation is bringing in legislators, bringing in researchers, bringing in founders to have intentional conversations about what a common sense regulation should look like. Because you're going to have it. There's people on the side of fear that we need to do regulation to block it all out because it's going to kill society. And then you got people on the side that's like, oh, well, we don't need any innovation. We don't need any regulation. Both are wrong equally from my perspective. And so our goal is to make sure we're driving these conversations. We're thinking about it less out of fear and more out of information. But as you know, our legislators tend to be 10 years behind. And the problem is the technology is moving where we're advancing 10 to 20 years like every month. And so we need to have these conversations more before a crisis, and a crisis is going to come up with AI. I guarantee it, right? Something's going to happen. We saw that happen with crypto. And when FTX went down, everybody said crypto is evil and everyone wanted to shut it down, which that's also wrong, but that's natural human reaction. Our goal is to try to hopefully anticipate that. The next is the creator economy. As we think about how we're going to use these tools for branding and marketing, a lot's been said there. There's a lot going on across the country. We have a lot here. We have really intentional conversations about the future of marketing, making sure that it's also inclusive and that we are using these tools to empower more people. So that's one area. And finally, the other area is the future of the workforce. On the other side, the startup that I have founded is Disrupt Now. And our goal is pretty simple. We gamify brand loyalty in communities using gamification, blockchain, and eventually AI as well. So anybody that's thinking about, somebody brought up the Swifties as an example. That's the largest example. Like imagine if, Taylor Swift had her own digital collectibles that was like at every single event you went to, there was a limited amount you can get. And then some of those can get you access to Taylor Swift exclusives or other types of things. She could also partner with other brands and things like that. But you don't have to be Taylor Swift. Anybody with their brand at any level, from P&G to a loyalty program that's just the Cincinnati Art Museum, to those who are looking to do fundraising. You can use digital collectibles and gamified events very easily just through scanning, kind of like think about how Snapchat does that, but you can do that with your own digital collectibles that lead people and engage them versus in the boring way, which is generally you get a link or you get something in the mail. It's really about gamifying and amplifying how you're interacting with your community. So I look forward to working with all of you, and Helen's been a great partner of ours, and thank you for all you do for disruption in this community. Thanks.
Thank you, Rob. Rob has also been on my podcast if you'd like to hear more about his thoughts on AI and Web3. Open floor if anyone else who wants to jump up. I see Eric, if you want to come on down and do a quick bite. And anyone else, okay, you will be next. I don't see your name. RJ, maybe? AJ. Oh, okay. Okay. AI builder. Okay, great. Is that Eric? Okay. Oh, I've been calling you Eric, sorry. Here you go.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ianu. I'm CEO of Zetios. Little backstory. I have a PhD in artificial intelligence. And so, seeing the way that AI has really picked up over the past 1 year has been just ridiculous, to say the least, because in the past would write code and then it gets placed on Hugging Face and then you build a wrapper and then, everybody gets to use it. But now it's becoming a situation where everybody is like, really, really adopting and things of that nature. So Zetios, our focus is really on building AI solutions for government agencies. So we work with the DHS, for example, at the Digital Innovation Factory, and we build solutions like the HoloLens, for VR and MR. We work with drones and, just a whole bunch of stuff. And we use computer vision, natural language processing, which is like the generative AI type stuff, to, present, solve complex problems. We also work with the NIH on drug repositioning, which we basically use AI models or artificial intelligence models like network analysis to solve drug reposition problems as well. So, if you want to start an AI company, or if you're looking to integrate AI into your system, then we can have a conversation. Thank you.
Are there any other quick bites after? Okay, we have a couple. Okay, excellent. Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Hi, how's it going, everyone? My name is Waldo Raby. Name's not up there. And congratulations, you guys all found me. I've been hiding here in Ohio this whole time. Yeah, so a bit about me. I'm a full-stack software engineer and a co-founder of Reason. And I was not expecting to speak today, so bear with me while I tell you a little bit about what we're doing. Reason started out of Cincinnati Ventures, which has office space across the road in the 1819 Innovation Hub. And it started when me and Darren met Javier Perez, who was a student of Dr. Kelly Cohen. And yeah, we were introduced to him, and he had this really cool explainability algorithm that can take a black box neural network and take it as like a parameter. You inject it into his algorithm, and it can explain it, open it up, and turn that black box into a glass box. So we thought this was really cool, and we came in and we're like, how can we build a product around this and commercialize it and get it out there? Because explainability and a lack of transparency is a huge problem in AI right now. So we've undergone a number of pivots since then, and we have now turned into an AI ML operations platform. So we integrate not just with neural networks, but any AI system in the form of an SDK. So we are a Python package that you can download and import onto your model server, and you can use our Reason SDK to log your inputs, your outputs, and even get explanations in real time. So you can use our explainability algorithm or some other open source algorithms as well to make sure that your model is working in a fair, transparent, and unbiased manner in a productionized environment. And also get optics on what it's doing, how are people using it. So we do other things. We have a generalized set of features for all AI models, and then more specialized features for specific model types. So if you're just a wrapper around ChatGPT, we can help you make sure that your model, like people are using your model in the right way that you want it, and those outputs you're getting also make sense. So we help detect model drift and also do real-time monitoring and alerting. So we're working on some really cool stuff, and I'm excited about the direction we're going. If anyone's using AI or is interested in this, please find me after this. Thank you.
Thank you, Waldo. Come on down. I think Cincinnati does have a very good chance to position ourselves as leaders in responsible AI and explainable AI, because research at UC does this, and I think as an industry we could do it too. But anyway, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Keaton Pema. I'm with Amarai. Kendra, thank you for inviting me today. I'm in cybersecurity and doing a lot of consulting and governance and things like that. But that's not what I'm here to speak about. What I'm seeing in this room is kind of really cool, right? So I want to say I'm in the middle of the 30, right? I shaved my hair so you can't see the gray hair. But here's my thing, guys. Mentorship, right? We see a lot of guys on the other side of the 30, right? We want to share technology, right? We're on the other side of the 30, but we got wisdom, guys, right? And where the rubber meets the road is with the mental health issues, things that we need to talk about, right? We get into technology. That's not the answer, guys. Human to human, I think we're kind of forgetting about that, right? So anybody, reach out to everybody. If you need help, just talk to us. Talk human to human, right? There's money to be made. There's help that's needed out there, right? The systems can do it, right? Great technology, use it. Put it out there. Make money, right? But show people how to do it, right? That's what I'm here for. All right, thank you.
And for as much as we live in digital, you can't beat in-person presence for sure. So thank you for that message. Okay, Carl, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl Frake, and I am working with Pete Blackshaw at Centrifuge to create the Cincinnati AI Catalyst. The Cincinnati AI Catalyst will be a consortium that involves private citizens, small businesses, corporates, government, and universities, with the mission to improve the lives of all of the people in the greater Cincinnati region for all matters related to artificial intelligence. And our mission is very much specifically with the basis of responsible AI. We've had a kickoff meeting that happened during Startup Cincinnati Week, and we're going to get into a cycle of starting to build out. This is being treated like a startup. I was with Procter & Gamble for 35 years and was with Procter & Gamble Ventures at the end of my career, so we're building this out as a startup. And we're going to be starting with 5 specific pillars that include ethics, standards, and inclusion as a pillar, education and training as a pillar, R&D, innovation and new business, and finally communication. So I intend to be an active part of this group. So as things go on here and we get start getting going in this collaborative, I'll certainly continue to give everybody updates, and we'll be very interested to get to know all of you, and so we can have a conversation about how this all works together as a regional community. Thank you.
I'm excited. I don't know if you guys are excited. He got me all excited. Thank you, Carl. Is there anyone else who wants to do a quick bite? Okay, we have another one. Come on down.
There's Chris.
There you go.
So thank you for holding this. My name is Chris Brock. I run a data center and a company, but in December of last year, I started a Facebook group called ChatGPT for Business and Life. It's grown to be one of the largest AI social media groups in the world, so that's been really cool. From that, we've seen a lot of cool software, been to a lot of cool conferences, Boston, AGI World, been to MIT, been to the AI conference in San Francisco. There's so many cool things going on. Generative AI is such a new field that we have this ability to really make our mark in the Midwest. It's distributed, we can use it. So if there's ways that we can sort of as a community come together and I guess see where our place in Cincinnati is, I think that's important. I think we have big companies in the Midwest that will, when they do move to P&Gs, when they say yes, will define what AI is. So this is our chance to really define what we can do with AI and also what it means for enterprises and the college level. If there's anything we can do to come together as a community, I definitely think the AI Catalyst is a great opportunity, but also outside of just this community, the ChatGPT group, I recommend join it just to see what's going on. We're seeing amazing things like AI workflows. We're seeing implementations that are actually real world. This week, we have Nitro Bootcamp. We're going to turn on 30 companies that are going to train their own chatbot in one day. I think that's going to be the first in the United States to do so. So that I think is happening here in the Midwest, which is awesome here in our city. So any way that you can support not only our ecosystem, but the general atmosphere of generative AI, I definitely recommend it. And if you have questions or just want to learn more, join the groups and see what you can learn, and don't be afraid to use it. So.
Awesome, thank you. That will be a great post in our upcoming digital hub to share. Any other quick bites? Anyone want to come down and speak that hasn't spoke yet? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands or whatnot. So now we'll move into the Q&A phase, and this is really open floor. If you have a question for any of the speakers or just a general question for anyone in the audience to pick up and answer as well. So I can keep on rambling until someone raises their hands. We didn't start off with a question of like who all is the AI curious in the room on your tag. Okay, we have welcome. So excited to have you all here. AI user, that's the chat GPTs of the world and whatnot. Excellent. And AI builders. Awesome. So we have a really great mix in the room, which is fantastic. Awesome. Questions?
I have a quick question. This might be for you. With all the deep fakes, any information sources around the transparency and the provenance of what's real and what's not? I know you're deep in that space.
Yes, Don. Okay, I love that question. So for everyone who didn't hear Don, who is a beloved listener to my podcast, thank you, Don. So his question was about deep fakes and understanding the content authenticity of the media that we see. This is a very, very hot topic right now. I'm part of I'm a member of the Content Authenticity Initiative. It's got over 2,000 members. It's led and co-led by Adobe. I'm actually going to their summit next month, which I'm super excited about and can report back on. But there's a couple different initiatives. Adobe's really hoping to be the one that introduces the standard. It's called CP2A. And what it means is that it gives both the content creators and the consumers choice to understand more information about the media in all forms, whether it's image to audio to video and everything in between, to understand has it been touched by AI or manipulated in any way or not. And it's really important to have one standard, because if there's not one standard, then there's no standards. But this becomes really, really important when you think about photojournalism and journalism and what comes in our feeds of, is this been manipulated or not? One non-AI example would be the Nancy Pelosi video that was just slowed down, where it made it look like she was drunk or not. And we're all coming up into a very interesting 2024 world elections election here in the United States, where we're seeing lots of different propaganda, misinformation, disinformation in our feeds, and having that the language that they use is content provenance and how it will manifest or is already available. And anyone in Photoshop can already start using these tools. But it's a little watermark on it, and you click on it, and it's got a digital nutrition label, which has more information about how much the creator wants to reveal about how it's been manipulated or not. So we'll add a layer of transparency and trust to our feeds. You do see Google has a watermark as well, and there are a few other initiatives out there. But I'm a big proponent of one, and Adobe is really one of the leading companies when it comes to ethical AI. And this entire content authenticity initiative, they're really doing some really great strides in this. And the head of Adobe's content authenticity initiative, Andy Parsons, is on my podcast as well, if you're interested, and he goes into a whole lot more detail. But I'll also be coming back from their summit ahead of our next meeting, so I can report back on more information. But in terms of deep fakes, it will be even more important, and Rob probably has some interesting things about this of how to protect your identity, because from a regulatory sense right now, there's not really any protections. It's more punitive. Like it's basically any of you online can be deep faked if you have a voice or a photo or a video online, and there's not really ways to protect that. I guess you could a little bit with the content credentials, but it's more from a punitive standpoint. But as we're all going to get cloned and have these other digital representations of ourselves online, that protection will be more and more important as well. But you as the content owner can embed and encrypt these content credentials. And I think one other thing that's really interesting about the content credentials is, because I've worked with a lot of photographers over the years, is one thing with any professional photographer, it's like, well, people will just screenshot and get around any web solution of, you can kind of prevent screenshots now with some tech. But one of the things that they're doing is they're cryptographically encrypting metadata into this, but also I think it's through OCR technology. if something has been screenshot, it can reference it to an online cloud-based database. So even if that's the case, it still has a backup which can verify whether the image was screenshot or not. So there's some really interesting tech coming out to help solve these problems and a movement. So I would definitely encourage everyone to get this information from my podcast. But if you go to just Google Content Authenticity Initiative, there's a whole lot more information and a lot of resources that Adobe has both on media literacy, content provenance, and the standards. And if you are a creator, you can start using those tools and embedding them in what you're making right now, which is pretty cool. But thank you for that question. Tom, yes.
It's going to be kind of long, if I can borrow the mic. Stand right next to you. From a focus group and observation group of one, I've noticed that OpenAI is starting to take more of a position to limit what it will try to do and what it can do. Back in August, I wrote a prompt asking it to craft a communication theory on using misinformation, the best way to do it, the best way to go through and add political misinformation through communications. And it came up with this wonderful 13-point plan. And I was totally amazed that it would do that. And I tried the same thing yesterday, and it says, we're not going to do that. We don't do those things. And I was amazed that OpenAI is taking that up. I used to write up a series of podcasts, a series of presentations called AI is Coming for Your Children. And what it was that I originally asked, pardon me, OpenAI to craft the outline, so I knew how to flesh it in. It says, we're not going to do that because it means, that we don't want to hurt people using AI. But I said, no, AI is coming for your children, and it's a good thing because all sorts of medical and other research things that our children will benefit from. But originally, I asked to do something and it wouldn't do it for us. And it's starting to tighten those things down a little bit more. So if we're concerned or worried about deep fakes, one is it takes a discerning eye. Two, you have to check your resources. So even a trusted guy like me can tell a lie, and Kendra wouldn't even, tell people that I was lying. But check the resources. It's just a tool. You can build a house with a hammer. You can break in a lot of windows too.
Thank you. I also think on the Ginger who was speaking about our education, like media literacy is so needed, and I'm a big proponent of getting that more into our education systems as well.
So Helen, I have a question.
Yes.
So I don't know if I need a microphone, I'm pretty loud. Sorry. I am doing an evaluation of different software, AI software products that will allow us to generate content very similar to Jasper. I've already evaluated Jasper, and I was just wondering if there are other tools. I know Narratize is one of them, but I'm just trying to put together a list of all the different software products out there to do our evaluation on which one is the right one for either our company or any other company. So if you know of any tools outside of Jasper and Narratize, I would love the names.
That's specifically for marketing.
For marketing, so like creating blog content, ad copy, emails, anything like that.
I know Kendra has got those Copy AI and Writer.
I got those two.
Copy AI.
Okay.
I think Writer does not have.
Narratize, Katie's right here in Cincinnati. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
I know. I met her at one of the last events.
Right for me.
Right?
Right for me.
Right for me, and then writer.
Writer.
Okay.
That one's
And then Copy
RYTR.
AI.
Wait, what?
That's RYTR. The one I talked about was Write, WRITE.
For me. Okay, thank you.
That would also be.
You can
Okay.
build a custom assistant to do it too, like, and just in OpenAI. But
I hear a software developer generating something for me.
Oh, I like the idea of starting a list of all of our favorite tools and recommendations for different verticals. So we'll a great thing for our digital hub, which is coming, but awesome. Were there any other favorite marketing AI tools? No? Okay, but thank you for the question. Other questions?
I'm curious if anyone's been impacted by the presidential order or the executive order, and I mean, it didn't touch on deepfakes, and then also training model size, like then now you have to report your data set to some bureau. Like I didn't really dig into it.
Yeah, I need to read that more closely. But yeah, I would be curious, especially Willem. I don't know if you have any feedback. I know one of the things is like once you hit a certain GPUs, you have to report out to the government what you're building and whatnot. But yeah, for the builders in the room, I'm really curious what your reactions are to the executive order. Good, bad? Is it changing roadmaps? Anyone care to share? This is my Vanna White section.
Yeah. It's become formalized now. Yeah, no, I think this the legislation, I think it was Biden's executive order, right? I don't know if it was an act, but I think it was well due and probably overdue for something like that. They were kind of trying to find they didn't want to stifle innovation here in the U.S. And the EU's been well ahead of us since 2018. They've started talking about legislation, and it's kind of funny to go what we're doing with Reason, talking about explainability, trust, and transparency is something that's been in talks in the EU side of things for a long time. And here we have to kind of talk about like why we need this, why are we working on this? Who cares? Someone said the U.S. innovates and the EU regulates and China imitates, which I thought was kind of funny. But no, I think it's great. I think in terms of legislation, it really just demands a little bit of transparency and trust. So you have to identify high risk systems. I don't think anyone's really using high risk systems right now, but if you're using ChatGPT to diagnose medical conditions, that'd probably be a high risk system that you need to you need like an independent board to analyze it. So yeah, sorry, I kind of rambled, but
I would also add with it, the DoD and DARPA has done a lot on responsible and explainable AI. So if you guys need anything that might guide you about, where the policy and so on is going, I would look at the DoD and DARPA and what they've done in responsible AI.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, so the other day I read through the executive order, and I think like one of the challenging parts of that is going to be how it will be enforced, right? It's very difficult to stop bad actors, let's say, from building an AI because they're already sort of like bad actors, right? They can get the data and they won't report it, right? So I think it creates a hurdle for maybe smaller companies that want to do specific things that might be interpreted as building a whole new AI because they're going and taking some new data from the internet, right? So I think the enforcement of that part will be very interesting to see if and when that happens.
yeah, just to kind of trail on to your point, I think it's really cool because AI is becoming increasingly adopted in more and more sensitive areas. We have every company trying to figure out how to leverage AI to give themselves a competitive advantage. So when you get into banks who are automating decision-making around mortgages or whether someone should be approved for a loan or healthcare, where the stakes are really high, I think that's where the explainability becomes really important because, or even like, a startup that's creating a tool to pair applicants to different job postings for hiring decisions. If that model was trained on a unfair or a biased data set of a bunch of white guys named Josh that played lacrosse in high school, you're probably gonna not be matched with the right. It's gonna be biased. And I think if we're automating that decision making, I think people that get denied a job, they should understand why they were not matched. So that's where it really becomes really important, at least.
And I'm not the most well versed in all of Europe's regulation, but I think one of their solutions is that there always has to be a human touch when it comes to final decision making with AI, which I think is one way to make sure humans are inserted. There you go.
Okay, on the human touch and remarks in the last few minutes about this authenticity. I think in thinking about young people and schooling and education, you have to remember, and this is probably true in some other industries too, that there is the need that the people have for having their children educated. For families who have young children, they need them to be educated. And the need that the rest of us have, who don't have small children, to have a good workforce and a smart workforce and thinking people in that workforce at all levels. And so never confuse education and learning with the education industry. That would be my warning to everybody who sees an opportunity there. Because the education industry is responsible for example, historically turning one history book, one history course for children in the early 1900s to, this is the Texas textbook industry, which is, it's classic for this kind of work, turned that into social studies, which has 5, 6, 7 different textbooks that can be sold. And history has suffered from that. I like all those things. I taught them when I was a teacher. But the industry then went on to take over software. That went on to take over testing. Testing went on to take a huge amount of learning time out of the classrooms. So you all probably have your own take on all of those proceedings. Just remember that the education industry feeds off of taxpayer money at the local, state, and federal levels. It has guaranteed flow that way. And my challenge is, when you're working with AI or any other technology, do something about learning. Our literacy rate at the higher levels is tanking in the United States. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's because we are not teaching deep thinking as well as we could be. And I'll stop here. And I did forget to say before, I forgot to tell you where I'm from. I'm the founder and senior consultant for Renegade Learning.
Thank you. Any other reactions or questions or commentary or throwing thoughts in on that or anything else? I haven't looked at the time in a second to see how we're doing on time. 4:32. Okay, well, why don't we, we'll take a break and do the survey, and then if anyone has any questions, you can ask that too. So the survey, let's see, I don't know if I can do this split screen. You have a lot of different ways to get to it. The QR code or going to bit.ly / it's got to keep this capitalization, I apologize, or let's see, or you can go to slido.com and then input the number 1-881-747, and we will see in real time while we have you, so you don't have to answer an email with a survey, what you all want for your online hub location, because this came out of, and there's another QR code. I think this is enough. After the last meeting, there were so many people who were like, who spoke? I want to be connected with that person. So we're wanting to bring everyone together so that the networking can have a hub too of at least knowing where everyone is for the space. So we're here for you all. So we're happy to have our online hub wherever makes the most sense. And it looks like LinkedIn is winning. Is there anyone else that needs to vote? I like this live poll. The bit.ly is, it's over here, /N for November, CincyAI. Trying to do a split screen. And I'll do a plug. The gentleman who owns Slido, I forget where he's from, somewhere in Europe, but I met him when he was first starting, and now they do these live polls at South by Southwest for part of their conference, which is very cool to see startups grow and take over. Okay, I feel like everyone is voted. Is there? Okay, it looks like LinkedIn group. So we'll try to get that baseline set up because we'll do a recap email. We'll send you the photos. We'll send you the link to the LinkedIn group so everyone can connect. If we come up with more survey questions for you all, we'll definitely do that. And we are in talks, it's not finalized yet, we're aiming to hopefully have this space all of next year and have all of the dates for all of next year mapped out. And it will be kind of the same drill of Tuesdays from 3 to 5 at the building. So cross your fingers, do a dance to the UC gods for us. But we'll do that, and UC has been an amazing partner for us already. So if there aren't any other questions, thoughts, comments, feedback, we'll just close out and move on to the networking and collaboration portion. But again, thank you. I know time is one of the most valuable resources, and you all have decided to spend a little bit of time with us today. So thank you so much. We do have some water and some very cool little cup charcuterie things back there, so please have those. We also clean up the room ourselves afterwards. That's one of the things to get in UC's good graces. So please do, if you have stuff, throw it away and help us out on that front. But otherwise, thank you, thank you. Oh yes, we're doing a group photo.